is uncanny.
What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the genially judgmental Dr. Disaster, and admittedly, I am not the biggest One Piece fan, primarily because there are so many episodes in the show that getting started watching it was always a bit intimidating. However, my kids have gotten into One Piece and they pulled me into it as well.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I like the show pretty well so far. It isn't my favorite anime or anything like that. Death Note has that honor, but still, One Piece is pretty fun. And actually, the way that my kids got me into the anime was by using the Netflix show as a gateway. The 8 episodes of the first season of One Piece on Netflix seemed a hell of a lot less intimidating than the 1,100 episodes in the anime. They got me to watch the Netflix show first. That got me interested in the franchise, and I have been slowly going through the anime ever since. I'm only around 70 or 80 episodes in, but I've definitely been enjoying myself. But of course, we can't have nice things. Netflix always feels compelled to alter the story so that the characters are unrecognizable.
Who the hell are you?
Netflix always does this. As I said a minute ago, Death Note is my favorite anime, and I was pumped when I found out that Willem Dafoe was going to be the voice of Ryuk the Shinigami, but then I saw the casting for the character L, and I rolled my eyes because, of course, once again, they decided to race swap the character and make him wholly unrecognizable.
Oh, goody.
Well, they just revealed the trailer for the second season of One Piece, and I was pumped as I watched it until they showed Vivi, who has been race-swapped into an Indian chick. I will give them this, at least they didn't turn her into a boy or anything like that, but the character doesn't look anything at all like the anime. The whole point of a live-action version of a comic or cartoon or whatever is to try to match what fans had always imagined the characters looking like, but this right here takes me out of the experience completely, and of course, I know what the legion of Netflix ass-kissers will say about this.
You sound like a white male trying to reestablish the patriarchy.
But I have a response to that, which is pretty straightforward.
I don't give a rat's ass.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, I've begun uploading some content onto Rumble as well, so make sure that you follow Dr. Disaster over there, and don't forget to follow me over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. But anyhow, let's talk about this One Piece Season 2 trailer that just dropped. Now, for anyone out there who wants to argue that the looks of the actor just don't matter, and actually, they just chose the best person for the role in One Piece here. First of all, why does it never work in the reverse? Why is there never a black character that gets transformed into a white one? Or why is there never a female character who becomes male just because a male actor happened to be the better actor in that role? If we are just casting based on acting skills alone, you would think that it would go in different directions at least every once in a while. The laws governing large numbers dictates that this would absolutely be the case at least every once in a while, but it doesn't happen because actually this excuse is pure bullshit. And here's another question. Look at the character from the live action. As you can see from that image, actually, they thought it was important to dye her hair blue to match the cartoon. But my question is, why? Clearly the makers of the show are not particularly concerned with fidelity toward the looks of the characters, just like with Ariel and the Little Mermaid when they made the live-action version of her into a black gal. They dyed her hair red in order to match the cartoon. The question becomes, why in the hell is it important to make her hair color match the original cartoon? What makes hair color so important while the shade of their skin can be so obviously ignored? And that's a rhetorical question because we all know why this is done, because these companies pander like crazy. Now, there have been a lot of people trying to push back against folks who dislike this casting in One Piece by saying that the show's original creator, Eiichiro Oda, was actually somehow involved in the casting. And based on everything that I've read, that simply does not seem to be the case. I found several old articles here where Oda is quoted as praising the casting that Netflix did for the first season, but it says nothing about him actually being involved in choosing. And even if that were the case, even if the casting decisions had come directly from Oda, then all that would tell me is that he likes to pander as well because he wants to pad his bank account. But people who sell out like that do not impress me, so even if this were true, and to be clear, I have found no evidence to suggest that he has been involved in casting decisions, but even if it were true, it would not make the casting correct or even defensible. Unfortunately, though, Netflix has almost no incentive to change. I mean, look at how the trailer was received for this second season of One Piece. Over on the official Netflix account on YouTube, the trailer has amassed a couple million views in about a half day at the time of this recording, and currently they are sitting at about 140,000 likes to only about 2,000 dislikes. So they aren't going to get ratioed or anything like that. Most people who saw this trailer are either kissing Netflix's ass or just casually consuming product without thinking about it, because that is how they were trained by the modern day corporations. Remember that old line? Don't ask questions, just consume product and get excited for next product. I call these people who do that the cultural auto intake zombies. These are the people who go out and buy the newest Call of Duty that just came out on day one, no matter what, because advertising works on them and they get FOMO. And as long as they don't get punished, Netflix that is, as long as they don't get punished for doing this sort of thing, for race swapping like this, they have zero incentive to change. I mean, this is a company that hit over 300 million subscribers at the end of last year. Though I will say this, personally, I've just about run out of reasons to ever subscribe to Netflix again. Squid Games is done. Cobra Kai is done, and Stranger Things will be wrapping up at the end of this year. I was never particularly pleased with the Witcher adaptation, but once Henry Cavill was removed from the show, then I really checked out on that one. I don't like the Castlevania stuff that they've done. I'm seriously struggling to think of anything on Netflix that has me interested enough to keep giving them almost $20 per month. Netflix, though, has always been the one streaming service that just seemed kind of immune to the effects of the streaming wars. Disney, Paramount, Peacock, Prime, Apple, all of those are fighting for their lives, so to speak, but Netflix has just been a massive entity that was well established before any of these other streamers even existed. They clearly feel like they are above scrutiny and above criticism because they have an army of zombies who will happily slop up whatever crap they throw out onto the screen, and they will keep paying the subscription services to Netflix no matter what. But at least for me, I really can't think of any reason I'd want to keep supporting these guys. But I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your contempt for the way Netflix approaches adaptations into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.